This is an introduction to 3D Studio Max, and 3D Studio Max have an interface like this. You have the top view looking from the top, the front view, left view, and also the perspective. Usually you start by creating primitive types, object type. You have the box, which you can click and either key in some values here and press create, or a direct manipulation method where you can click the box and within the interface itself, click, drag, release your mouse, and then move up and click again. So that's the way to create a box. Okay, very simple. If your mouse has a scroll button, then you can scroll in, okay, scroll out, or scroll in, just to zoom. Okay. Of course, you also have interface widgets like the zoom button, okay, where you can zoom in, zoom out, the field of view icon, which is the field of view, and the pan tool, okay. Also the zoom all viewports button. So this area here is just for you to navigate the interface, okay, navigate the viewport. What do you have? You also have a rotate. So, but when you rotate, you're rotating the camera and not the box. Okay, just remember that. We also have the zoom extends. Okay, and sometimes when we are so far away, right, we can click, okay, on the icon longer, and something like that will come out. And if you have the white box, which is the zoom extends all, then it comes back. Okay. So this is the one. Okay? So that's the interface. Other than that, sometimes you want a viewport to be enlarged so you can work on your 3D objects. So this is the button to enlarge it. Okay? Click that, and here you go. That's the interface. But other than that, the navigational controls, you can also use certain shortcut keys. Like if you press your scroll button and press the alternate key, you can, without using the rotate navigational tool, you press alternate on your keyboard and also the scroll button, and you are actually, okay, rotating the camera. So it's very important for you to understand how to navigate around the viewport, because you're going to be modeling something. Okay. But that's actually rotating the camera. Okay, you have the perspective view here. You can change the viewport type by right mouse clicking on the perspective text. Go to view, and okay, you can change to any views you like. Okay, a user view is just an isometric view. Okay, there's no perspectives. Okay, press P anytime and go back to perspectives. Or you can change the view to the top view, use the rotate button, okay, and change it. Press back, perspective, P, and you're back. Now, there are various rendering methods in your viewport. Okay, again, if we click, the right mouse button, click there, see that this is smooth plus highlights, right? You can also have wireframe, which actually makes you see only the wireframe. Or when we go back to smooth plus highlights and right mouse click again and enable edged face, that allows you to see the polygon. Okay, well, it's clearer if we use a sphere. So that's a sphere. Okay, look, this is a create tab and create standard primitives, and that's a sphere. Click, drag, and there you go. Okay. So if we remove edge face, then you see only the smooth rendering. Okay, but usually keep it on, right? Edge faces. Okay, so that's the viewport, navigational control, and that's how you create standard primitives. But how do you actually move or scale or rotate the objects? Okay, you can use, look, these buttons up here, that's the move. Now you're not moving the camera, but you're moving, okay, you're moving Okay, you're moving the objects. I'm moving it in the X axis. See, when you move your mouse across to the Y axis, it becomes yellow. That locks it, right, to the yellow axis. Move it up to the top yellow, and that moves up and down. But if your mouse icon goes to this square box, look, then it's locked to the X and Y axis, Z and X and Y, and also the X and Z. Okay, that's the axis. Same thing with the box. Okay, click on that, and that's how you move an object. Okay, rotate an object rather than the camera. Look, once you click the rotate tool and have an object selected, you have this rotation widget. Okay, again, you can lock that to the X axis, the Z axis, and also, sorry, the Y axis. Okay, you notice that as I'm moving around here, you see I'm always using the alternate key and also the middle scroll button to rotate the camera as well as rotate the object. That's how I model. Okay, so you can also create other objects like the cone, okay, with a different kind of combinations of clicks. Okay, so try that. The geosphere is a little bit different from the sphere because this is made up of quartz and this is triangle. Okay, and that's the cylinder. Okay, so that's how you move. Now, anytime you want to delete an object, very simple. Just click on an object and press the delete key. Okay, that deletes it, right? But sometimes you would like to delete every object. So you can, just like in Microsoft Word or Photoshop, you can drag your mouse and it creates a window and that selects the whole thing. With the whole thing selected, same thing, you can also move the whole object, rotate them, or press the delete key on your keyboard to delete them. Okay, very simple interface. Other than creating boxes, okay, using the direct manipulation method, you can create them or any of the objects here using the keyboard entry. Look, let's go ahead and try it. I want the box to be, say, 10 units of the positive axis, also 10 units off to the Y axis, and keep it on the Z. And I would like my box to be 50 units in length, 50 width and height. These parameters here creates the length, width and height, okay, and the segments. So for a box like that, with only one segment, okay, you see a box like that, right? Let's delete that and try it again. Box, keyboard entry, and make sure the segment, maybe 4 segments, right? That creates a much more detailed polygon model. Press create, look. Okay, is that clear? Good. The same thing with the other objects. You have the sphere, right? You can create a keyboard entry, say 40, 40, and also 40. What's the radius? I want it to be maybe 60, a little bit bigger. How many segments? 32 at the moment. Create, and that's a really big sphere. Look. Okay? Look, I'm using the scroll button to zoom in and zoom out as I model, and the alternate key, remember that? With the scroll button to rotate the viewport. But once you've created an object, you cannot now access, its parameters or the how do you change the segment? How do you make it smaller? You can always go to the modify. Okay, there's a tab to create all kinds of things. There's also a tab to modify all kinds of objects. So click on that and see you have the sphere selected, and that's the name of the sphere. That's the color. You can also change the color maybe to a light shade of blue. And you can select that. But once you've selected that, in the modify panel, you can change the radius. Look, okay, change the segment. Okay, that's a really low polygon sphere. Okay, and that's a really high polygon sphere. You can slice it like that. Okay, that makes a slice. Okay, the other direction. Okay, type it up. Okay, and also squash it. Look. Okay. Right, that's how you squash the segment. So the same thing with the box. At the modify panel, change the length and the width, okay, and the height and the length segments. Okay, so let's move this back to here. Now, look at the X, Y, and Z position here. Okay, anytime during your modeling session, you can move that axis, move the sphere at the X and Y. Okay, even type it in. Okay, let's say I want this sphere to be right at the center, at the origin. So all I need to do is to type in 0, press tab, go to the next one, press tab again, and Z. Okay, so that's how you manipulate a virtual object. Now we go back to the create panel. Aside from the standard primitives, you also have the extended primitives, and that's the Hydra. You have the chamfer box. Okay, okay, very nice. The oil tank. Okay, the spindle. Okay, the gangon, whatever that is. Okay, the ring wave. Ooh. A capsule. Okay, all kinds of extended primitives. At the standard primitives also have an object type called the teapot. That's called the Utah teapot, and that's how you create it. Look. Okay. Name them anytime. My teapot. Press enter, and okay, you've renamed it. Aside from the standard primitives and also the extended primitives, you also have particle systems, compound objects. We can cover that later. NURB surfaces, even doors and windows, even AEC extended. That's an architectural extended primitive. So maybe we'll just have a look at that. AEC extended, click that. Foliage are plants. Okay, click that and pick one. Say I want a Scotch pine in my viewport. Look, beautiful. Okay, a little bit too complex for a real-time rendering environment, but you see, we can always go to the modify panel. Same thing here, right? And make the density, okay, a little bit lesser, so that you have less leaves. That means faster rendering time. Level of detail, put it either low, that makes it really low, or medium. Okay, for any real-time environment, make sure it's all the level of details and the density is at the lowest level. So that's the end of the introduction, and I would like you to try creating standard primitives, extended primitives, and using the navigational tool and also the object manipulation tool to create some objects. Thank you very much.